follow that beautiful song with something far less beautiful, and I feel slightly sad. Any resemblances to incidents that have happened or people involved, either living dead or like not managed to be dead, is purely coincidental. That's all I can say. And apologies for, well, you'll see. It's the feeling of blood dripping, there's something missing, a clever plan for getting stuff done. You didn't match your victim with descriptions you were given, so all you can do now is cut and run. Oh, it's clear that you didn't do your due diligence. All your machinations are just anticipation of premature assassination. There was screaming in the distance, you could tell something was listening that truly wasn't your finest hour. You fired up all your mage bolts, had some allies with a few holds, and it feels like now it's all going sour. Oh, it's clear that you didn't do your due diligence. All your machinations were just anticipation of premature assassination. Oh, it's not what you expected, it's really rather hectic, but it's okay, you were not on your own. I hear it happens to professionals, and it's clear you're not the first ones. Maybe you should live this career path alone. Oh, it's clear that you didn't do your due diligence. All your machinations were just anticipation of premature assassination. As you slink off from the battle, it seems that you are rattled as you watch your victim being revived. I'm pretty sure that your intention wasn't that they could be mended, but look, they seem to still be alive. Oh, it's clear that you didn't do your due diligence. All your machinations were just anticipation of premature assassination. Oh, it's clear that you didn't do your due diligence. All your machinations were just anticipation of premature assassination.
Right, hello, I am here to tell a story of a previous gig I once did, because we have all, as performers, had those gigs we remember and wish we could forget no matter how much we drink. And I once knew it was going to be a bad show once, because the compere told me, it's fine, Ragbag, they're a quiet audience, but they'll warm up, just hang in there, and it's never a good sign for a compere. So, being a jester, I went out and I told my first joke. I told the audience, someone told me their grandfather was being a bit ill, so they tried an old remedy and covered his back in lard. Afraid after that, he just went downhill very quickly. See, you normally get at least a laugh and groan. I just got silence from the audience, and I thought, okay, they're still figuring it out, I'll carry on. So I went and met somebody who made clocks for a hobby, and that's what it was like. He said, if I'm honest, it's just time consuming. Again, nothing. I think, okay, by the third joke, maybe they'll get the first. So it just carried straight on to the next one. I told them I had to do a gig for a bunch of Gorgons recently. I was asked, are you scared? I said, scared? I was petrified. Now, that I just got stares back. I'm starting to think, have the audience been petrified? Well, I'm being paid anyway, so I carried on. I was walking past the Griffin camp, someone threw a mild cheddar at me. Went right up to them, looked me dead in the eye and went, that's not very mature, that. And you think usually you get a response with a cheese joke with the Griffins, but that died faster than somebody drank something in the Alchemist without reading the label. So I carried on and said I took passage on a ship transporting red dye. Sadly, flying with a ship carrying blue dye, and I was left marooned. Now at this point, I'm wondering about the audience's vital state. They're not laughing, they're not groaning, they're not mage bolting me, which is usually a sign if an act's working or not. So I carried on. So a chap at the tavern bragged he'd single-handedly driven a stake through a vampire's heart. And I said, well done. He went, no, medium rare. I'm starting to realise at this point that actual dead bodies have more life than the audience. So on I go. If I just keep going, I get paid, I can go. I told them, I was asked the difference once between ignorance and apathy. I replied, I don't know and I don't care. I'm starting to sweat at this point, which is weird for a fabric-based entity with no sort of sweat glands. I was interviewed though for various types of clowning, and I was told I wasn't qualified to be a mime artist. Must have been something I said. And I respond. Now usually if you say mime, you get a reaction, even if it's disgust or a throwing knife. But nothing. A fella came up to me, I told them, rather angry, said I'd covered his sword in glue 3 years ago, and I looked at him and I went, you just can't let it go, can you? I'm starting to worry at this point because they're just staring at me like something you find at the back of the void gate after you've done something wrong in a ritual. But I'm keep going. I was talking to a chap on the way to the gig. He asked what he did, and he said he ran an orphanage. Oh, no, do you take donations? Now, plenty of orphanages it is, it turns out. Now, I'm sweating, I'm shaking, I'm getting nervous because I've never had an audience this bad. I'll tell one more joke, and I'm just going to run. So I told them I went to a tavern called the Rancid Fiddle. If I'm honest, it was a violin. And immediately that, they fell about laughing, uproariously, hardly ever seen before. As I looked on in confusion, the pair just came up, put a hand on my shoulder and went, yeah, the 11th joke always gets a laugh, even if no pun intended. Thank you!
When I say the name of the hero of this tale, just shout it back at me. Yes, it's very serious. Sometimes it's a little bit somber. Anyway, this is Pumpkin Cowboy. We'll have a little test. Pumpkin Cowboy!
Pumpkin Cowboy!
You'll get better, don't worry. He's a cowboy and a pumpkin, and he loves his cattle so. But there's no way he gets lumped in with most cowboys, you know. Yes, he's no outlaw and he won't quick draw, but he despises violence. Take a fireside moon over your saloon, as he much prefers the silence. Pumpkin Cowboy!
Pumpkin Cowboy!
You're getting it? Well, it ain't no bluff that life is tough for a goat out on the range. But for all the woes in the life he chose, he's never seemed to change. With a smile wide and a kerchief tied around his neck/waist. And he's never out in a coward wild as he's asked all them post haste. Pumpkin Cowboy!
Pumpkin Cowboy!
But one day when Pumpkin Cowboy was out tending to his steer, a frightened child came from town with a message soft but clear. The town folk said that he'd end up dead if he didn't heed their warning, for they heard that Cowboy Cat would be there the next morning. Pumpkin Cowboy!
Pumpkin Cowboy!
It was well known through the prairie Cowboy Cat had ruined lives, and they said he was a devilish man who liked to play with knives. He'd steal your purse and do much worse if a hairball made him grouchy. If you summed up some of the things he'd done with one word, it'd be ouchie. Lyrical genius. Though he'd heard tales was on the trail of the feline fiend reviled, Pumpkin Cowboy couldn't leave, for his cow was now with child.
Oh no!
They ran away, she'd have to stay, and she might not survive. So we waited by her side all night for the scoundrel to arrive. Pumpkin Cowboy!
Pumpkin Cowboy!
But our hero hadn't realized that he'd begun to doze, and his mind was awfully groggy when he finally arose. He touched the ground and sadly found the thing that he had feared. While he slept under the moonless night, his cow had disappeared.
Oh no!
But a moo came from the nearby field, and the cry was harsh but still. Cat Cowboy held our hero's cow, and it looks like he could kill. Pumpkin Cowboy spoke in hurried yells as he pleaded with the cat. He'd give him all his ranch and land, he'd let him take his hat, but the rascal took no compromise, no hat, no ranch, no plane. He said the thing he wanted most was just to inflict pain. And as Pumpkin Cowboy heard this, he ran at such a clip that Cowboy Cat got startled and the knife began to slip, and they crashed into each other, cat and pumpkin, flesh and blade. And the knife fell to the arid ground, and the scoundrel stood, then swayed. Cat Cowboy crumpled to the dirt, and Pumpkin kneeled beside, and Cow stood vigil next to him. He's still there.
Hey!
As Pumpkin Cowboy cried, he tipped his hat at Cowboy Cat and stood without a sound. When townfolk came to cheer his name, our hero wasn't found. Some say he started wandering for greener fields to roam. But he didn't bring his cattle, and his horse stayed there at home. There's a horse as well, sorry I didn't mention that. The very next morn, the calf was born, the town's owed pride and joy, and the folks will regale you with a gorgeous tale. The tale of a pumpkin cowboy. Pumpkin cowboy.
Pumpkin cowboy.